And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, I forgot to put up the tabs. There we go, okay. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Darnock with TGN, and we're going to be going right into Game 2 of this Best of 3 series. The map's going to be Shattered Temple in the south. We do have Millennium, Adel, or Adel Scott. That's what that M and then the funky symbol means, Millennium, his team. He is the orange Protoss who lost the last game to the victor, Happy, as the yellow Terran all the way up in the north. So we do have a cross-position game right now. Could see some a long macro game. We always love to see those whenever we see cross-position. Adel Scott's going to favor these positions just a little bit more to close positions or anything like that. Protoss players, that gives them the chance to tech just a little bit more aggressively or expand more aggressively. Or really they don't have to worry about getting two racks pressured and then missing a force field and losing the game, like White Raw did in NASL against Select, which made me very, very sad, because I am a massive White Raw fanboy. I actually totally nerd out about him, like, every day. It's disgusting. Both of these players making workers, as they usually like to do. Happy, opting not to wall off. That's actually how I play the game. Some Terran players like to wall off against Protoss, some players don't. It comes down to basically what are you more afraid of? Are you afraid of gateway units making it up your ramp in the early game? Or are you more afraid of a Void Ray coming in from the sides and outranging your Marines and killing your wall? It all comes down to what do you want to deal with least, and I don't like Void Rays. Void Rays are really, really scary, just like the new Nerd Alert song proves. So I like to not wall off, and Happy apparently shares the same sentiment. So that's his thought process. I was just explaining why he's doing that, why you don't always want to wall off, and it really comes down to personal preference. The Terran music is so good. It is absolutely incredible. It's so Firefly-esque. Firefly, by the way, a good TV show. If you guys have never watched it, go check it out. It actually got canceled halfway its first season because Fox is retarded. And I want to stab the person who made that decision in the face multiple times. And then cut off his penis and put it in a garbage disposal. And you might think that's because I'm a cruel and messed up person that needs to go talk to a therapist. That's not the case. The reason I say that is because I actually read an article in the newspaper today where somebody had that done to them. Some guy's wife cut off his penis and then put it in a garbage disposal so it could not be, put back on, which is terrifying and makes me cringe really, really badly because I cannot imagine the pain that would entail. Ugh. Let's go back to talking about StarCraft, guys. This is actually making me hurt just thinking about it. So, again, we do see that our Terran player going to be going at least for what looks to be a 1-1-1 opening. He has that barracks out, going to be dropping down that factory. Not going to be the Banshees this time, as the gas is a little bit later, so he's not really trying to go for that. Just going to go for a nice tech-heavy opening with some good defense possibilities. Protoss player is going to expand. The SCV does spot that on its way out, so Happy's going to know he has to expand here pretty soon. He can't put it off for a very long time, or else he's going to start getting behind in that fashion. Interesting that Happy is throwing down a bunker on the high ground here. That tells us that he's actually planning on teching pretty aggressively, as he is throwing down the tech lab on that factory, which is an interesting choice. And he's getting a starport as well. What opening is this? This is looking a lot like a Blue Flame Hellion opening. It could be Banshees, but I'm feeling some Blue Flame. Blue Flame would not be a bad way to open when Adel Scott's going for a one-gate nexus such as this. There will be a lot of probes, not too many combat units though. So Blue Flame Hellions can go back and forth. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. We see that Blue Flame upgrade is being researched. Hellions being built. This is going to be a Blue Flame drop, which I know my younger brother, when he watches this cast, is absolutely going to love, because he is all about the Blue Flames. He plays Terran. He goes Blue Flames every single game. He's obsessed with the things. But why wouldn't you be? They're just so awesome. It's so fun to watch players micro Blue Flames, and it's just so tense when you're trying to split your workers up against them. It gets very, very scary indeed. Again, we see Adel Scott going to be going for that gateway-heavy focused build as he did that last game. In this game, he realizes something. He said, you know what? I had no upgrades that last game. Upgrades are pretty central to this build. Let's get a forge after our second gateway. Yeah. And he is actually building the ground armor level 1. Very, very good choice. Normally, you'll see weapons get researched before armor. But Adel Scott noticed in the last game, he said, you know what, Happy? You had a lot of Marines the last game. And you know what's good against Marines? Armor upgrades, because Marines actually deal no damage. They just deal it very, very fast. So if you have the armor upgrade to reduce that even more, those Marines It's like they're shooting water guns at you. It's pretty intense. Now, Happy has a medevac coming out here. Okay, he's picking up a Hellion. Is he really going to drop with a single Hellion? Because that would be stupid. Okay, he's going to at least drop with 2 Hellions. It's interesting how he has the units over here. What he's doing is, the reason he's rallying them over here is because he doesn't want to keep them in his base in case Adel Scott has gone for a quick observer. He wants to have them as out of the way as possible. And you see he's even going to pick that factory up immediately. And he's going for that other Raven, which is really, really cool. Raven's so awesome. So looks like Happy's going to go in with 3 Hellions. That's the number you need to really be able to burn those probes instantly. And look at this. There's no vision over here for Adel Scott. Ah, scan. There is a scan, though, that's going to tip Adel Scott off. That's actually too bad. If Happy had just gone without scanning, he would have been in good shape. But Adel Scott not going to spot it quite yet. He's just out of range. And there it is. Those Hellions going to go in. Only 2 Stalkers and a Photon Cannon over here. 1 probe does go down. 3 probes go down as well. And he's going to be killing quite a few probes here. Those Hellions going to focus down very, very quickly, though. He should lift this last Hellion up and run away. But that Hellion going to lose the will to live. It regrets its actions. Actually, that medevac got focused down. Excuse me. So that's why I didn't lift up. I assumed that the Hellion just said, oh my god, I have ended so many lives in this world. I can't live with myself. But if we take a look at the workers killed, we see he did get 9 probes. 9 probes went down, which is a substantial amount. However, Adel Scott still has the expansion lead, as Happy is only just now morphing this command center into an orbital command. Happy very, very late on that expanding, and I don't think those blue flames did enough damage to really make it worth delaying his expansion that much. So Adel Scott does have a pretty strong advantage right now, and he is just going to be capitalizing on that in every way. He is researching his +1 weapons attack. He already has his +1 ground armor. He's building a 4th gateway, and he's building a Twilight Council. Will it be for charge or blink? We're going to have to see. He has a good amount of each of those units. More Blue Flame Hellions coming in from the main, though. These Protoss units off to the side, taking down those destructible rocks. These Hellions could slip in and deal a lot of damage. There is a Photon Cannon, so this Hellion's not going to be able to just walk around the place, but they are going to be able to do a little bit of damage. 3 probes do go down. Probe number 4 goes down. The Hellion falls, and then 1 probe is going to go after that Hellion. It thinks it's a Stalker, apparently. And we're going to see Blink on the way from this Twilight Council. A very, very cool upgrade. I always love to see Blink, mainly because I play a mage in World of Warcraft. And for those of you who don't play World of Warcraft, which I'm going to assume is a lot of you, mages have a spell called Blink, which does the exact same thing. You can teleport yourself over short distances. Ugh. Not sure why I had such trouble with that word. It's not a very difficult one. Adel going to be taking his 3rd base just as Happy takes his 2nd. I know I'm sounding a bit like a broken record here, ladies and gentlemen, but Adel does have a very, very serious lead right now. Now, Happy is just going to start getting some decent production going. He has 3 barracks. He's going to be able to start pumping out those Marauders and Marines 2 by 2. He has a store port. He has a store port, ladies and gentlemen. It's a store that produces ports, or possibly a port that produces stores, whatever you want to do. It goes both ways. Very versatile structure, those store ports. I swear, sometimes it feels like I cannot control my mouth at all. We see +2 ground armor being researched by Adel, really riding that upgrade train. Again, absolutely the correct decision. He's added a 6th. No, that's a 5th gateway. And that's a robotics facility. So I'm completely wrong. He just has the 5 gateways right now, but that is quite a bit of gateways, ladies and gentlemen. 11 minutes into the game. Happy going to be pushing out, going after these destructible rocks. The reason he's able to do that is because he does have the map control. If he did not have map control, that would be very, very risky, as he could get flanked and destroyed instantly. Going to be going after these rocks as well. So it looks like Happy might be deciding to take a little bit of a risk. He might decide to take 2 expansions as once, try and rocket himself up like that. Hellion's coming into the 3rd base over. That's quite a few. Whoa, huge amount of probes going down. Those Blink Stalkers are going to be blinking in, revealing Blink to Happy, and they are going to get away. And oh, that's smart. Ooh, oh, good shot by those Stalkers. Great Blink by Happy, going to be able to, or great Blink by Adel, excuse me, going to be able to kill all those units. And wow, 18 probes haven't killed so far by Happy, but if we take a look at the Harvesters, Adel still has a pretty strong lead there by about 8 or so, just from the virtue that he has 3 bases, and that's a lot of chrono boosts on the probes. 3rd command center on the way from Happy. He did just drop down a Ghost Academy, so he realizes he needs to start working those EMPs by quite a bit, but you know what? He's going to EMP those Protoss units, and then the Protoss is going to laugh because they have such upgraded armor, and Happy has no upgrades. He doesn't even have an engineering bay, I don't believe. Oh no, he doesn't even have an engineering bay, so he thinks he's going to be feeling pretty good from those ghosts, but he knows that's actually not going to be the case at all. And Adel Scott does have a decent amount of sentries once, not really once again. This time he has a decent number of sentries, which he did not have in the last game. He has 4 sentries. Each of them have a full amount of force fields. He even has them spread out just a little bit, so one EMP isn't going to completely destroy him. And Adel Scott looking very, very good right now. He's halfway done with that charge upgrade from the Twilight Council. He has some stalkers over here hanging out, watching for drops. And Happy's going to push out, but he might find a bad surprise. Oh, this is such a smart choice from Happy. He knows he's really far behind, so he's going to take a lot of SCVs. This is going to be an all-in. That's actually so many SCVs. That's almost a full page of SCVs. So will he be able... I'm not sure this will even be enough, though. It's going to be a lot of cannon fire, but it's not going to be enough. There's a stem. Great force fields over there, locking in a lot of those stalkers, unfortunately keeping the zealots from hitting them. But you know what? A lot of those marauders he locked in, excuse me, but the stalkers are going to be able to do a lot of damage regardless. And he needs to pop out those guardian shields, but it's not going to happen. And wow, Happy actually looks like he might be able to deal a lot of damage over here, as he does have a lot of units here. Good warping with zealots, though. That's going to be able to help Adel Scott out a lot. Another stem. Not a lot of medevacs here, though, so those stems actually going to be hurting the infantry quite a bit. And Adel Scott, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to be able to hold. He might lose a few more units, but one more warping is going to turn the tide of battle. There it is. Those zealots chopping up all of the marauders, and Happy is now at such a deficit. 3 bases to 2, 99 supply to 71, 67 probes to 39 SCVs. And at this point, Adel Scott can go for a counterattack, and he should be able to win the game right here, right now. He was going for a tech switch during all of that. Let's take a look at it. There's the robotics bay. He was about to finish his extended thermal lance. He actually hasn't built any, that's Law of Gateways, wow. He has not built any Colossi yet, which is kind of funny. Did he lose his robotics facility? Yeah, he lost his robotics facility. That's why he hasn't built any Colossi. Okay, that makes sense. Victory. But he doesn't need his Colossi. He's going to push out. Happy's trying to take the gold base. He knows that's the only way he has a hope of getting back in this game, unless Adel Scott attacks right now, which he is. So Happy, he's going to have one last stand with those SCVs. He doesn't even have any ghosts in this army, so he's going to have no EMPs. Adel Scott's just going to push forward and destroy the remainder of Happy's army right now. Back and forth, a little bit of dancing right there. I bet StarCraft 2 pros are good dancers because they have to pay attention to so many things at once. That wouldn't surprise me. And it looks like Adel Scott is going to allow Happy to survive for just a little bit longer, excuse me, because he's a man of honor. There we go, switching up the words again. First we have he is letting Happy survive honor. Then we have the store port, the port that produces stores, or the store that produces ports, whatever you want. I'm just not good at this talking thing. But again, Happy's trying to stay in the game, but he knows he's lost. We know he's lost. 172 supply to 125. That's a small deficit. Adel is even up to high Templars. He's researching Storm now. He has 2 robotics facilities at top of his ramp, pumping out those Colossi 2 at a time. Keep in mind those Colossi are going to be upgraded, so they're 2-2. Things not looking good for Happy. Happy going all in again, bringing more SCVs. If it didn't work the first time, try again. Now he's going to have a slight favorability here in the early part of that battle as he caught a bit of the Protoss army out of position, but you know it's not going to be enough. Adel Scott going to sweep in from the right side. Those robotics facility units, the Colossi, that's what they're called, doing huge amounts of damage. The High Templar actually just charged Happy units, which was pretty interesting, but you know, it does not matter. These stalkers going to get cleaned up. Happy going to die, and there it is. There's the GG from Happy, and Adel Scott tying this game up 1-1. Things are getting exciting, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go to the ace match. It's basically going to be a best of 1, and I don't even want to sign off. I'm going to go cast that this very instant, so goodbye.